G'day again. Well, quite a few people watched my last video, surprisingly so. And so I've decided, and I got a few complaints from my friends in England who said I look very fat and very old. So I'm going to try and do a bit more better production values for this one. I've even got a remote control. How good is that? I'm going to try and keep it about 4 minutes. That seems to be your attention span. I'm going to talk about the incident of the Shepherd Boy. Now, the Brereton inquiry is coming out, as you know, this week. We don't know what it's going to say. It is government vetted, so it will be saying what the government wants you to know. That doesn't mean it's not true. It will be true, but it probably will be half the story. And there's been some sort of complaints about, it's going to take another 10 years, to sort things out. Now, one of the things I'm going to touch on today is to say actually should not take 10 years. Those of you who saw the footage of Soldier C, as he's called, shooting dead an Afghan in the field for no particular reason except the Afghan happened to be sitting in the field. You don't need a 10-year trial to work out whether that was a murder. It clearly was. Now, there's another incident too, which I've talked about, Soldier B and a guy getting kicked to death. Again, you don't need a trial for that. The patrol report is quite conclusive because the patrol report says they shot an insurgent, trying to attack them. But two witnesses on the patrol say, no, we treated someone who was wounded and then he ended up dying under the care of the patrol commander. And the disconnect in that, again, it's conclusive. Finally, I'm going to talk about something, the Shepherd Boy. Now, in 2006, the Australian SAS were putting in what they call an observation post, is when you get on top of a mountain or somewhere similar, and you watch what's going on. You're just meant to watch and be undetected. Now, a farm boy, a shepherd boy, wandered somewhere down below them, over 100 metres, or 86 metres, which is quite a long way when they're down a steep slope. And he wouldn't have seen the SAS. The SAS people that observed him said he hadn't seen them. And they know what they're talking about. Anyway, a guy we'll just call Corporal E, because that's what he was called in the dispatch, comes in and says, no, I'm going to kill that guy. We've been compromised. Now, there was nothing to suggest that the Shepherd Boy wasn't just a Shepherd Boy. And in which case, you can't just kill him. That's not how it works. You have to have some reason. It might not be strong, but it can't just be, I saw an Afghan and I decided they were a spider, so I shot him. Fire. Anyway, these things happen, and there was a dispute amongst that patrol, and good on the people that said you shouldn't have just shot that kid. And they had a bit of an argument, and the people that complained about the shooting of the kid got bullied. Anyway, that's bad enough, but the real problem came 6 months later when they awarded a bravery medal to the two people who shot that kid, and this is what it read. The observation post became the focus of an anti-coalition militia force. That's the kid. And repeated attempts to locate and surround the position ensued. Now, there's 6 SAS people on top of a mountain and a shepherd boy walking down below. Does that sound like locate and surround the position? In one particular incident, the militia, and there was only one incident, but in one particular incident, the militia, that's the farm boy, attempted to outflank the observation post. They must have been terrified. Only 6 of them on top of a mountain with air support. And anyway, Lance Corporal E was part of a 2-man team that tasked to move out of their relatively secure observation post in order to locate and neutralise the militia and gain the initiative. The task was successfully achieved. Neutralise the militia means kill the shepherd boy, right? And they did it. Okay, now he wasn't tasked by anybody except himself. And it was only he that decided that this person, for reasons unknown. Now, years later, as this book details, Chris Masters, and it's not rumour and conjecture, it's all quoted from original sources. Soldier E says there were 2 people and they were armed. Oh yeah, so it was very brave, And then when he was pointed out to say that the patrol report, the original record from 2006 says it was 1 person and he wasn't armed, he backtracked and said it was 1 person and he was armed with a grenade or something. So the story changed quite a bit, but the story that matters, and it's quoted in here, it is the original patrol report in Chris Masters' book, which says it was 1 guy without any weapons. Now that's a murder, and not only was it a murder, he got a bravery medal, and there was another action as well, but I think it's fair to assume that the other action was probably about as reliable as that first one. But the Australian government, well, VIP Heavy, awarded a gallantry medal for that killing of the farm boy. You don't need 10 years of trials to see that was wrong. The original patrol report shows that was wrong because there was nothing to suggest the guy was Taliban. And yet the Australians write it up as is a Taliban anti-coalition militia trying to outflank them. You don't need a trial, and that's not conjecture. That's fact, and it's conclusive. Not just Soldier E, but the Australian government, the minister and his staff are all in the frame for that.